Hi there, my name is Theepan from Australia. This is my week for assignment, and I'd like to talk about automation a little bit. The way I'm going to approach this is I've taken a song I've already done for a different Berkeley course. What you see here is a bunch of raw tracks which haven't got the automation. I wouldn't be playing the entire thing for you, but I'll just give a bit of a glimpse of what it sounds like without the automation, just halfway from the middle of the song. This is what it sounds like. Okay, that's about it. The next part, rest of this video is to guide you through the automation process and what my understanding is, and hopefully demonstrate what this does to the entire mix. In addition to the demonstration, I'll also be adding a couple of reference links, one to the pre-automation bounce of the song and also a bounce after the automation that will hopefully highlight the sort of value add you have from the technique. In Logic, you could actually go about automation in a number of ways. I'll be covering a couple of options at least, but musically, just before we get going, you could see these tracks, the melody bits, are pretty much right throughout the song. But then you also see this piano intro, which kind of gets hidden because of the overpowering nature of the other tracks here. If I just play it here, see there's a little piano intro which you can't quite hear. That one. What I'm trying to do through automation is to bring that out so the listener can be guided with that intro, and then all the melodies will follow suit. So I'm going to use the pencil diagramming tool in Logic Pro to just cut down the automation, or the amplitude with the synth melody to start off with. Let's see how we can go about that. See, zoom in a bit. Yeah, okay, so if you bring that one down, wrong direction. Okay, I'm just going to measure it roughly where the piano needs to be prominent, and then we can bring that in as soon as we're done with the piano. So I'm going to dial it down completely here. And this is more of a trial and error sort of a process. Let's see how we can go about that. I'm going to just try solo both the synth melody and the piano and see how that works out. That's not too bad. I'm going to do a few tweaks, and you probably won't see that, but I'll get back to you after I'm done with that. Now I'm going to get you to listen to what this actually sounds like. I'm going to play the whole mix a little bit, all the tracks, and this is what it sounds like. And I'm going to just solo the two tracks that are being interacted through the automation so you can get a clearer idea as to what's actually happening. And what's expected is the piano intro part gets boosted towards the beginning, and at the same time the melody synth shouldn't be heard to the user. There it kicks in. So that's one way of automation. The other way to go about automation is to use some of the knobs and buttons that are available through the mixer board. If you can see here, for the ones I have had the automation involved, you could see the read is what it displays here. What we might do is if I just say write, and I turn on any of fiddle with any of the other knobs here, whether be it your panning or EQ right here or the faders, it should actually have the similar effect, but it would just record it similar to what you do on Excel with macros. It would just record as I do things. Okay, great. Now that we've seen one way of doing it, the other one is to use the mixer board, some of the buttons that are related to automation. What you see here, off, read, these are very much related to the automation. Number of options you have, touch, latch, are different ways to record the automation while you're writing it. and the other one is just a read. Once you've done it, it's just going to play back. Very much similar to how macros would work in Excel. I'm going to musically talk a little bit about what I'm trying to achieve. You see drums and strings here. Strings, I'm using them as very much percussive or rhythmic instruments rather than melody. I'm using a little bit of articulation here. Just to play both of them here. So you could hear that. What I'm trying to achieve is wherever the strings are featured, I want to dial down the overpowering nature of the drums so that the strings actually can take over. In order to do that, I'm going to be playing with the faders. I'm going to put the latch mode so that once I do my changes, it actually holds on to where I left it, and I'm going to record that as we go. I'm going to be using the faders, sorry, wrong one. When I go to the drums, I'm going to use the latch, and as I hit the strings component, I want to dial down the drums element of it. Let's see how we go. Okay. There we go. I'm going to bring that back up. There you go. Hopefully this should have recorded the automation aspects. If you just go here, there you go. If you see all these dots that I'm pretty busy, they're all lining up or mapping my manual movement with my mouse. So that's one way to do it. And if you want to do any cleanup on that, you can just, I'll just zoom in just to see what's happening. And you'll be able to tweak things as you go. So you might be able to drag it up or down or delete some of these things so that it suits your taste. I'm going to be spending a little bit more time doing a bit more automation before I publish the outcome, but you won't see that as part of this demonstration. Although I've touched on just the faders, basically automation can be applied to anything and everything very much these days. Wherever you need the change over time, and the keyword is over time, you can employ automation. And to me, it's a great tool. Just to reflect on it, it actually replaces a number of people standing around you while you're doing the mixing, just fiddling with things. And in terms of what you can and can't do, although we just touched on the faders, you can very much do everything here. Let's assume we are trying to do some panning just with that, or you want to change something with the EQ midway through. I don't know why you would do that, but if you fancy doing that, you can hit record on the automation and you can let that do it automatically for you. On that note, thank you very much for the time and all the best with all your assignments.